Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 64 of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
Today, we have a full Minecraft stack of Division Z episodes, my friend. 64.
Yes, 64. Hell yeah.
You'll love to see it.
Maximum storage. Let's go.
Woo!
God.
But all Minecraft jokes aside, we have some really exciting news for Season 6 of Black Ops Cold War, including the new DLC 4 map, Forsaken. And it looks really cool, man. I'm really looking forward to the map. So.
It does look very good. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am very hyped for this. I think it looks overall for Cold War, I think it's going to be a nice way to wrap things up. And I've said this for a few times in the past week. I think overall for Zombies, it's been a pretty decent year, all things considered. I know the second half of it might have been a little bit more dry than the first because of D Machine, and then we got Firebase Z, obviously. But I think overall the year's been pretty solid, and I think Forsaken, which in context, you're looking at it and you're scrolling, your brain automatically thinks foreskin. I don't care who you are, what you say, you think of foreskin, right?
I don't know. I feel like I'm the only one who just never thought that. I'm seeing all the jokes and I'm seeing all the edits of the logo of the map. I feel like I'm the only person who never thought about that. Like I'm just going like, what is happening here? Like we got the conclusion of Black Ops Cold War and Zombies, and people are like, foreskin.
Foreskin. Like, the map name is Foreskin.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a little odd to me, but the Zombies community is not without its memes sometimes, I suppose.
I will say the logo for the map is amazing.
It's pretty cool.
It's evident. It is the coolest logo we've had for a while. I think probably since
honestly, like Revelations and like Garad Crovey had really cool logos too. Yeah,
because like Firebase Cold War zombie logos have been good anyway, right? They look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Black Ops 4 we had Blood, Voyage, IX, which logos are fine. But kind of after that it was very plain.
Okay.
Revelations was something that was quite, exciting. Yeah. And even like with what other maps are good? I think Origins one is all right as well. Things considered.
Origins is, you look at that and you instantly think of, oh, that's classic. Oh, that's nostalgia, right?
That's nostalgia. That's the good old days. The good old days.
But it reminds me of something from like Marvel, Yeah. It reminds me of some kind of superhero movie called Forsaken. But you know what? Hey, it looks cool still.
I think it looks cool. I think it looks definitely.
I'm looking forward to
right choice. I like the kind of like dark ether theme.
Yes.
I can kind of see the crystals in that as well. You get what I mean? Like it's like a
right.
I am very excited for that. What are your overall thoughts on the trailer and all that put together? What did you?
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what kind of dark ether implementations they're gonna have in this map, because obviously we see from the logo the entire logo is covered with dark ether crystals. So, there's got to be some kind of dark ether aspect to it, not just the Forsaken is coming out of the portal. Oh, the new mini boss Margwa dog thing coming out of the portal. There's got to be something. There's got to be something there, without a doubt. So I think there's going to be some good dark ether elements. The trailer was really cool. I'm glad we got to see PhD Slider in the trailer. We saw the Death Perception perk machine.
Yep.
That was fun. Cool. That was cool to see. I love the perk machine.
I think it really shows what they could have done with the BO4 perks. I know with BO4, obviously, I'm talking about BO4 again, but with BO4, they had a lot of perks that they could have really did some interesting perk machines with, and this is just one of them.
Exactly.
I hope in future games, when with Vanguard, I'm sure they'll add to the rotation of perks or whatever they choose to do. I'm pretty sure they're going with perks. Maybe, I don't know. And then going forward with Dark Ether Chapter 2, I guess you could say, whatever comes next after this game. See what other perks they bring back from older games like BO4 and see what they can really do with it. Because Dead Perception, again, it looks very cool. It looks like a BO1 perk, if you get what I mean. It has that sort of vibe to it, I think.
Interesting.
That's what I think when I look at it. I think it looks definitely like it.
I think the perk machine, honestly, for Death Perception, it looks, to me, it resembles Widow's Wine because of how the tentacles, the spikes that are coming out of the perk machine kind of reminds me of the spider webs coming out of the Widow's Wine machine. But that looks pretty cool. We got to see the Chrysalax in action as well, the new wonder weapon, which I'm telling you, dude, I think this is gonna be a really good wonder weapon. I think it's gonna resemble the Hammer of Valhalla from Black Ops 4 a lot, personally.
Mm.
And then also the SMG pistol hybrid kind of a weapon. I've seen people on Twitter say this, and I wholeheartedly agree. Needler from Halo. I think that'd be pretty cool to have as a wonder weapon. So that looks great. We saw, what else did we see? I mean, we saw some of the layout of the map. Zip lines are coming back, going from
We've seen
rooftop to
the
rooftop.
Margwa dog thing in action.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, I thought that thing was going to be a lot smaller.
Yeah, dude, I thought it was going to be, I thought that was going to maybe replace dogs a little bit, but nah,
No.
dude, that's a full elite enemy. That's going to be a tank to take down. I mean, it looks like we're going to be killing it the same way we kill Margwas too, with the 3 heads glowing and then we shoot the heads. That's my guess. But then other people made the observation that on its tail, there's a lost soul from the Dark Ether. There's like a zombie guy attached to its tail. So people are thinking, oh, maybe that's another weak spot. And that's how we take it. Yeah. So like you shoot it in the back or something. Like, I don't know. To me, when I hear shoot it in the back, it reminds me of Kingdom Hearts. Because in Kingdom Hearts, there's an enemy called a fat body, where it's this large, just fat, round enemy. And the only way to kill it is you've got to take its back and hit it in the back. So I don't know. To me, it reminded me of that. And I hope it's not too annoying. I really hope it's not too annoying like the Megaton.
I think with the last map, they want to go interesting but safe, if you get what I mean, in terms of like boss types and that. I think with the atmosphere and what they're kind of trying to do with the map, I think they'll try and be creative and see what they can really do with it. I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm just curious on what they're gonna do with it to make it feel like a DLC format. Because I feel like with Zombies, the DLC format isn't really either a hit or miss. They're just they're either really good or just all right.
See, that's the thing with the Dark Ether story, right? Like
they've all been good.
It's
all
gonna
be solid.
Yeah, the maps have been really good. I think they're gonna really, give people who read the intel a good payoff. I think. Because
I think that as well.
That's where the climax of the story is going to come in. It's going to be, oh, you read the intel and you remember this moment? Well, that's going to lead up to this, right? So I think with the big finale and the big, oh my gosh, the Forsaken is here and, oh, Zykov and all that kind of stuff, I think it's going to be more rewarding for people who have actually read the intel than maybe people who haven't. I mean, I know that sounds kind of harsh, but the way Black Ops Cold War is going, I just think that's the case, right? They really wanted to push the intel. Yeah. They wanted to get as many people as possible to read it. And, there's a lot of people putting out a lot of theories and a lot of, oh, well, maybe this could happen because of this piece of intel. Oh, this is maybe confirmed for it. So I think, honestly, this is going to take all the intel and bring it to a head and really say this is the finale of the Dark Ether storyline in Cold War, and then set the stage for Vanguard Zombies. Because in addition, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but in addition to all this, in Warzone in Season 6, the World War II bunkers are going to be opening. So the World War II bunkers opening, Vanguard's a World War II style game. Season 6, I think, is going to do a lot to set up Vanguard.
I know. Season 6 looks like the most packed season out of them all.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's for two reasons.
What are the reasons?
2 reasons. Number one, like I said earlier, they want to set up Vanguard. They want to set up Vanguard, so they want to put so many things in there so people get excited for Vanguard. And number 2, I don't think they're going to have a Season 6 Reloaded. Because
people are saying
1 month.
The time crunch is so...
Yeah, exactly. Season 6 comes out October 7th. Vanguard comes out November 5th. So Season 6 Reloaded would be the day before Vanguard. People were doing the math and predicting the days, right? So that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense unless they did do that. I mean, if they did do that, that'd be cool and more content for us. But the way they're compacting all the content into 1 month, like the Haunting of Verdansk, the new operators, the Warzone stuff, the Zombies map, the Zombies that they're doing a lot in October, and it's going to be exciting.
It'll be a compact. I guess you could even say week if there is a Reloaded. Again, I don't think it makes much sense from a marketing side. Why would you want to update an old game when a new one's coming out?
Right.
If you get what I mean.
Right.
Again, like you said, more content for us. Absolutely, I'll take it. But maybe the reason, like you're saying, that is so packed in the season is because we're not getting it reloaded. It's all
Yeah.
in this update. We get everything.
Yeah, there's
Which
no way we get it reloaded here. There's just not enough time. And the
not
fact
enough
of the
time,
matter
no.
is, I think it's going to be kind of weird. Even though Season 6 is potentially the shortest season for Black Ops Cold War, I think this could be one of the best seasons for Black Ops Cold War just because of what we're getting, right? We're
Yeah,
getting
absolutely.
Forsaken, the conclusion of the Dark Ether storyline in this game. We're getting the Haunting of Verdansk again, which I'm really excited for. I really enjoyed it last year. The new multiplayer maps look pretty sick. And we got some cool new bundles in the shop, which I'm sure you've seen.
The Ray Gun Master.
Yes, dude,
I love
the
that.
Ray Gun Gallo. Dude, I'm copping that. I don't care how many COD points it is. I'm copping it. I don't care, dude.
They chose the Gallo because they know how much we like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're like, you know what? You know what zombie players will buy? Let me tell you what zombie players will buy.
Yep.
The Ray Gun, because it's so hard to get in the box normally. So they can have this one. They can spawn in with the Ray Gun.
Oh, man. Yeah, they can spawn in with the Gallo Ray Gun. And it seems like with the pictures, right? It's not just going to be the Gallo. It's going to be the C58 assault rifle in the style of the Ray Gun, too. So we're going to be getting 2 Ray Gun Mastercrafts. And what I'm curious about is what the skin that will come with that will be, if there is going to be a skin, right? Because I know sometimes they have the one-off kind of offshoot weapon Mastercraft bundles, but is there going to be a skin for like Mason or a skin for Woods or Adler or something?
Richtofen?
Richtofen. There you go. Richtofen, new operator, season 6. There we go. There we go. Hey,
man.
I'll take it, man. I'll take that.
I'll take. Now here's my thing. Going off from season from DLC 4.
Mm-hmm.
As far as storyline goes, obviously it won't be the biggest. I think it'll have a nice little ending to this chapter of the story.
Yes.
But obviously they're going to have to do more with it because it's that foundation now. It's quite well rounded, all that stuff, and we're getting a prequel right away. So I don't think it's going to be this massive. Oh my god! Perhaps it's somewhat of a cliffhanger if they're going to do anything. We already know they're continuing it. They're not going to be like, that's it.
Yeah, they're not going to abandon the Dark Ether storyline now because the Dark Ether storyline also ties into the overall story of Warzone and the canon of Modern Warfare and the Black Ops Cold War campaign.
There's nothing they can do. Even if it wasn't good, they couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's so important now.
Yeah.
So my thing is, with perhaps the ending cutscene or just anything happening in the map itself, do we think we'll have a little bit more of a reference to Primus?
Maybe. I think there's a good chance because of, the Forsaken coming out of the Dark Ether is my guess is what's going to happen, right? And that's going to be the boss fight. I think there is a good chance we have some sort of references to Primus or some older maps or whatever it might be just because of, as the Dark Ether continues to spill over into our reality, there's going to be more references, right? Like obviously the Manglers. I know it's such a subtle, it's a little thing that you don't think would make that much of a difference, but the Manglers are from the Ether storyline, and the Manglers are back in the Dark Ether storyline. So I think there will be a reference, or there will be something there for Primus in one of these maps. In Forsaken, it has to be, right? And not to mention, of course, the big glaring Samantha Maxis is literally a main character. So I think there's a really good chance there is some references to Primus in Forsaken.
Because we have to even reflect back onto when she went into the from Firebase Z when she came out the portal,
right?
And she had all their stuff, not even just like one item. They had something from all of them. So I wonder if that will factor in. I don't know if there's much in the intel. Does the intel at all reference Primus at all?
No. The intel focuses on the relationships between like Samantha and Gray and Carver and what he's finding out secretly and the relationship between Peck and Kravchenko and Kravchenko trying to hurry the operation along and Peck is kind of scrambling for resources. I remember reading one of them. And then like Gorev and Jaeger are they're like, oh yeah, we're all gonna die, aren't we? Like we're all gonna get our heads chopped off here by the KGB if we fuck up this operation. Like you
Yeah.
know. So like there's some really interesting storyline stuff here where a lot of these characters are really self-aware that this is the end. Like if nothing goes right for Omega or Requiem, either one of those factions could face serious consequences. So, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what ends up happening.
What ends up happening? Yeah. I mean, myself, I haven't read too much of the intel just because I don't really have the time to now. But like, as soon as Cold War's over, I'm gonna watch. I'm sure someone will make a video breaking down all the intel with all the information in a nice format. Like a really long.
That'd be cool.
Who would be good at doing that? One of the bigger guys, good at making like long, detailed videos or something. Or just one thing I can watch so I can understand the story, because I get a basic grasp of what's going on.
Dude,
Because
you know what I want?
What do you
I
want?
want someone to animate all the intel. I want someone to make
Yeah.
like all the intel, because you have audio intel,
Yeah,
but
so
of course you have documents too. Make some
Yeah.
animations for the documents too. I think that'd be cool as hell.
That'd be great, man. Oh, imagine if they had the budgeting to make cutscenes for all the audio.
That would be insane. I think
That'd be
honestly
great.
that would single-handedly make people like the Intel system, because I know a lot of people hate it. So if there were cutscenes attached to every piece of Intel, everyone would like it and the community would not be divided. That, I think, there's no refuting that. I think that is what would happen, honestly.
Yeah, people would absolutely love it. Yeah.
There's
definitely.
Because I know a lot of people are just like, oh, great, I got to go and read Intel now, and that sucks. Which, the thing is, I understand. I understand that people don't like to read the Intel because, when it comes to story, you want to have that story in the map that you're playing. You want to experience the story front to back. Oh, you did the Easter egg front to back. You experience that story in the map. Great.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to go outside the map and read. I get that. I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing is with the Dark Ether storyline is because there's so many details in the intel, it fills in a lot of the storyline and all the gaps that, a lot of people are going to be missing some context, which, again, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like, the intel is there for the hardcore fans who want to read it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand that people don't want to go outside and read. Or go outside and read. That's not a mental.
People don't want
People don't want to go outside and touch grass.
Come on, grass, yuck, ugh, bugs and dirt. Oh my god.
No, but like people don't want to go outside the map and read the intel, which you can make the same argument for the Chaos storyline too, because one of the things that I noticed about the Chaos storyline is how a lot of the backgrounds of the characters in Chaos are reliant on the comic books.
Comic books, yeah.
So a lot of people, myself included, were like, "Who are these characters? Like, what's like why are they here? What's their relationship with So there's some context missing there. At least with the Dark Ether storyline, we're setting things up with characters that we're familiar with. We're learning more about the characters. And it's not like starting from scratch and it's like, okay, figure out these characters. The Dark Ether storyline is giving us information right off the bat with the intro cutscenes and who these characters are and all that kind of stuff. And with the intel is something in the game. So you don't have to go and pay extra for a comic book to read from a comic book. You can read the intel. So I would say the intel is better. Definitely a better system. I like it personally. But you can make the comparison that the intel is just like the comic books from Chaos, where it's like, oh, I gotta go and read extra shit.
I'm reading this now.
I think just
the game.
I think the intel in Cold War is better, just an overall better system because it's in the game, readily available for people who want to do it.
Yeah, I think the intel system is better than previous stuff with like cutscenes and that, because I think cutscenes are overall great. I think they're the best way to go when telling a story, but we get all these radio logs in Ether maps that never had cutscenes, and no one ever complained.
Right.
No one ever really complained. And now there's a whole place you can go and listen to all of them. so you don't have to go into the maps again and get them,
Right.
which people are just upset about. And again, I can understand it when it comes to actual like intel when you pick up a document and you have to go read it. But at the same time, it's like, come on, they're providing a lot more story, and they can focus more on the gameplay of the maps doing it this way.
Right.
So they're not to making absurd changes to the maps to go with the story dynamic. They can just write it. They can write in a little document, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's what's good about the intel. It's separating story and gameplay without separating story and gameplay. Because again, they listen to the community. A lot of people like to complain that Treyarch doesn't listen. They listen. I think Dark Ether and Cold War is the perfect example of that. They focused more on gameplay this time around and adding new mechanics and new perk tiers and skill tiers and things like that to make the gameplay a lot more interesting. And then they separate the storyline and intel and documents and radio logs and things like that. But there's also a little bit of story in the maps. And I love the point that you made about people didn't complain about the cutscenes for like a Doris radio or something. But I think the reason is because Ether had so many cutscenes and music videos, and it had more cutscenes, or it has more cutscenes right now than Dark Ether. I think people are just comparatively going, well, obviously Ether is better because Dark Ether doesn't have as much. Is I think the underlying subtext of what is going on here. And I think the more that Dark Ether develops and the more things that start to be revealed and new story threads and whatever, I think more people will start warming up more and more to Dark Ether, because there are some emotional moments in the intel. I mean, the director and Samantha, their interactions when you listen to the intel, it's dark. It's kind of dark.
Yeah.
So, there is stuff there. There's definitely stuff there. And I understand where people want to see it happen in cutscenes. I totally get that.
But that's not realistic,
But at the moment, it's just not realistic. And if we were to get a cutscene like that, that would be great. But at the same time, I'll live with the intel. I'll listen to it. I'll read some of it. I'm gonna try to read most of it. I'm gonna try to read most of it. I've been listening to a lot more recently, and it's getting pretty good. It's getting pretty good.
There's a lot of intel, isn't there?
Yeah, there's over 500 pieces of intel.
Fuck.
Yeah, and I'm on a quest to get them all. I've recently, this past week on live streams, I got all of D Machina's, Firebase Z, and Marauder Toten's intel. And I have 42 pieces of Outbreak intel left, and then I'm totally caught up. So it's a grind. I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit of a grind getting the intel, but it's worth it.
A lot of it's from it's just picking it up on the maps, isn't it?
Yeah,
or is there more to it?
You either like for example on Outbreak, right? There's multiple ways to get the intel on Outbreak. You get the artifacts, right? Like an empty Juggernog can or something like that. And that'll tell you, oh yeah, this is a perk from the Dark Ether or whatever, right? And then you'll get like a document when you kill an elite enemy or a special enemy, and it'll tell you a little bit of the story of like the region you're in or something. Yeah, and then the intel trial computer where you complete a challenge and it'll give you intel about the Dark Ether. Or you find audio logs and radios that will explain more of the story, like on Collateral. The other day on stream, that's where I was finding a lot of this intel. On Collateral, there are these really good radios about Maxis and the director forcing Samantha to use her Dark Ether powers and mentally manipulating her into doing his bidding. Like it's really dark, but it's some really good story context.
And so many people don't even know that's going on.
Yeah,
which is quite sad, because that's where a lot of the story is.
Yeah.
Kind of makes up for like a cutscene like Marauder Toten's outro, which isn't a bad cutscene, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of plot armor there, but that's just zombies for you. Plot armor.
Yeah, we talked about that last time,
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Kravchenko being a bad shot, but hey, you know what? At least the cutscene set up the director, and
that's the best takeaway.
The cutscene made people question who the director is. I think where a lot of people were really confused with Marauder Toten is who the fuck is Valentina, right?
Yeah,
because I know Firebase Z showed Valentina at the end of the cutscene with her and Peck and Kravchenko.
Other than that,
but like people are like, oh, what?
if you just play the game, right, and don't bother with the intel,
mm-hmm.
you going from Firebase Z to Marauder Toten,
It's gonna be like,
She's
how the hell did we get here?
she's turned bad now. How does
Yeah.
that make sense? Like that makes I don't get
Well,
that.
the other thing is too is like you go from Firebase Z and then you do the Outbreak Easter eggs, right? And then you can gather that you've been captured by Omega for the next map, but then it's
Yeah, yeah.
like, yeah, then who the hell is Valentina, right? Unless you read the intel and you realize, oh, okay, Valentina,
Valentino.
she's doing her Dark Ether Nazi army and shit, right? Uh,
I was like,
but see,
right.
that's the thing that makes Marauder Toten also a good map is, yeah, the ending cutscene really sets up Forsaken.
Mm,
And I think a lot more people would be inclined to actually read more of Season 5's intel going into Forsaken. I know
yeah.
it worked for me. I was more inclined to figure out more about the director and get more intel. So,
Mm.
yeah.
I mean, I think the big takeaway is that the Cold War's kind of run so far has been really good.
Yeah.
And I think with Forsaken, I don't think it'll let us down. I don't think it'll be like an Origins or anything because I don't think they're
Mm,
ready to do that again. I think with Cold War Zombies, since they're practically starting from the beginning again in terms of story, obviously they've implemented like systems like the perks and they set a better foundation now in terms
right.
of like updating the game and allowing us to have more perks in the maps without making the community angry by only having 4 perk machines and all that good stuff.
Right.
But I think as a foundation, it'll be another few games until we get a solid map like Origins again.
Mm-hmm.
The overall Cold War has done a really good job at just providing a solid foundation for the new story. And the maps are fun as well, which again,
Yeah.
like that's the thing. Even going back to like games like Black Ops 3, we had Zetsubo, which and Revelations, which a lot of people wouldn't consider good maps. I think Zetsubo is getting a lot more love now,
Oh,
but people
absolutely.
really don't.
Yeah, go ahead
People,
and
people
ask Scrine.
yeah, exactly. Like it's like people like Zetsubo now, Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a popular not popular. It's a map people will go back and play. Whilst with
Yeah.
Cold War, it hasn't really had that problem. All the maps have been pretty maybe not, oh my god, this map is the best map ever, or oh my god, this map is horrible, I hate it. But a lot of like people just be like, this map is good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
like it's a good map. Yeah,
So,
a lot of people are thinking. I think where a lot of people when they're playing Black Ops Cold War Zombies, yeah, that's their exact thought. Like, yeah, this is a good map. It's it might not be on the level of Origins or Mob of the Dead or something like that, but they're still decent. They're still pretty damn good. Like Marauder Toten. I think Marauder Toten is a really, really good map for what it's worth. And the fact that a map like Marauder Toten with a fun wonder weapon, a fun Easter egg, a good map layout, the fact that that is their fourth technically experience in the Dark Aether storyline, it can only improve from here. I
yeah.
think there's only one way to go is up, and I think Forsaken could be a really, really good map. Now, like you were saying, right? It might take them maybe until Vanguard even to just be like, okay, here's our origins, right? With the 4 elemental wonder
Yeah.
weapons, and it's this huge, grandiose map with just a bunch of things packed in, you know. And I think the reason why they haven't done a huge map like that yet is because, yeah, they're starting out with the Dark Aether storyline. They're taking things that
They want
the
to build a
zombies.
foundation.
Yeah, exactly. They want to take the things that zombies players already know and build a new foundation on top of that, where you have the basic perks and then you have the new stuff on top of that foundation. Well, now you have
Mm.
weaponry and Pack-a-Punch. That's the basic foundation. Now you add the new layer on top of that and you build up from there.
Yeah.
So, what would make a good fundamental zombies map like Origins in the Dark Aether storyline? And I think that's the question that Treyarch could potentially be asking themselves for a map like Forsaken or for Vanguard. Even though I know
Mm.
Forsaken, most likely the Chrysalax isn't going to have elemental forms, right? But,
No.
I think that could be a thought in the back of their minds where they really start
Want to do stuff like that.
to, yeah, they really start to take those fundamentals that they established in Cold War and from previous games and really turn up a notch for Vanguard and be like, okay, that was a little taste of what we're doing. Now let's go ahead and
Yeah.
just go all out.
And you want to know something as well? I think people maybe underestimate how good of a game Vanguard could be.
It could be, yeah, absolutely.
Because I think even after Cold War, and I'm excited for Vanguard. Not as excited as I was for Cold War, because in a way I still feel like it's a Sledgehammer game. But since Treyarch is the lead dev for the Zombies team, that is what they're working on.
Yeah.
It's one of them things where it's kind of like getting again same Zombies again, second year in a row, which will make
Yeah.
up for perhaps the one or two maps we didn't get in this game.
Maybe.
Because
Yeah.
in normal terms, we'd be getting another zombie game, and half the community wouldn't play the DLC maps
Right.
because they didn't enjoy the base map. There's not really a reason for players not to enjoy this game if they do like
Yeah.
Treyarch Zombies. Like they're not gonna go into it and be like, oh, this map sucks. When it could be something like Zombies in Spaceland, and the map's actually a really good map.
You know,
But
I think that's gonna be a really interesting thing. Like, it's a Sledgehammer game, but it's also a Treyarch game. So in a way, I'm kind of feeling like Vanguard is gonna not have an identity crisis, but I feel like Vanguard is gonna have two drastically different play styles when it comes to multiplayer and then zombies, and I think that could potentially split the community to be like, this is just two games that they've stapled together, right? Because of Treyarch and then because of, you know, Sledgehammer leading the multiplayer and the campaign, right?
Yeah.
That's one concern I have, but I mean, I don't know. The main thing is multiplayer, as iffy as the beta was, and I know the beta had a lot of problems. I just really hope that's fixed for the release of the actual game. I think it will, but I hope it is. I'm still really confident about Treyarch's ability for zombies, and that's the main hype for me is zombies.
Yeah,
Obviously,
absolutely.
I mean,
I think that's
you
right,
see,
yeah,
I mean,
all-
literally, this is what Cosmic and I do. Like, 99% of our content is zombies. Like, come on.
exactly. So yeah, I think the main buying point for Vanguard for myself and you will be the Zombies game mode. It'll be the thing we put the most time into,
Yeah.
and the thing we enjoy the most. But again, I completely understand what you're saying, that there's two different developers working on the same game, but Treyarch is really just focusing on the zombies, and I feel, again, I don't think there'll be an identity crisis, but I feel like
Yeah, that's
perhaps
it could feel different. It could feel really different.
because Sledgehammer still set the foundation for what the game is.
Right.
And Treyarch had to look at that and be like, okay, right, so we'll do this and that, and this with the tools they have available at their disposal.
Yeah.
I think with Vanguard, it will either be the best game in years or just okay. I don't think it'll be bad. I don't think it'll be bad at all. I think it'll be a really good game or just okay. One or the other. I don't think it'll be bad.
I can definitely see that.
I think I've heard a few leaks, so take it with a grain of salt, but there's supposed to be a lot of camos in both game modes. There's supposed to be a lot of them that you can earn. I think it's up to like 500 of them or something.
Oh my!
In terms of everything kind of thingy together, I could be wrong, but you know that's.
I mean, could you imagine though? That's 500 camos. Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of
weapons
stuff.
For weapons that have like 70 levels as well, because that's gonna come back. And
dude, that's gonna be wild. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, with the weapons, you can put 10 attachments in multiplayer on a weapon. That's going to be kind of wild. I mean, I know in zombies, we already have the 8 attachments that we can put on our weapons. Or is it 9? 8 or 9. So, like, adding that one extra attachment. And then in addition, you're going to be adding extra ammo type magazines, too. Like the incendiary or the hollow point bullets.
That's going to be cool.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I don't think that would replace ammo mods, but I think it would.
I think it would just be something on top of it.
Yeah, I think it would be. How do I explain it? It would be similar to those store bundle weapons, right? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Where, like, for example, the Incubator M16, right? The one that looks like an alien. That one does toxic elemental damage, and you only can put brain rot on that weapon because of toxic elemental damage. So I feel like if you were to put the incendiary rounds on the STG, you can only put napalm burst on the STG if you chose to do that. And it'll be of your own choice and your own volition to do that, which could make for some very interesting gameplay styles instead of, you know, having to buy a bundle in the shop to be like, oh, yeah, now I can do extra fire elemental damage because I paid for it, right? So it'll be really interesting to see if that's the case. That's just my educated guess, but we'll see. We'll see.
Now, also regarding Vanguard, do you think think the fundamental systems will be the same with Pack-a-Punch and perks and all that, right?
Yeah.
But do we think it'll be perk machines or because I remember that being leaked a while back that they were calling it like fountains or something, was it?
Oh
I think
yeah.
like yeah, like blood fountains
Something.
or something they were calling it like
Something
that.
like that. Yeah.
So
I
like
remember a vague, yeah, some sort of vague leak like that. I don't want to talk about it too much, just in case it's actually real. And
yeah, but
I don't want to spoil it for people, but I mean, hey, it, if they're doing maybe some occult stuff, because I know Nazi Germany was interested in the occult, you know, and trying to get some sort of other worldly powers to help them win World War II. There could be the chance of like some sort of fountain of blood, you know, demonic ritual fountain
yeah.
of, you know, I don't know, some
Something.
crazy shit.
I think over the top because I think they'll go the Nazi theme again and be really heavy on that for
Probably.
the first map at least, and then maybe they'll kind of step off it like they did with World War II.
Well, especially because you got Ulrich Vogel. Ulrich Vogel and Project End Station, I think, is going to be a huge focal point. You know, I don't think the on disc map, if we do get one, I know there's mentions of that too, but like I think the launch map, I don't think it's going to be exactly Die Maschine, but I think it might be Die Maschine 2 in the way where it's like it's a basic map, it sets up Vanguard for the rest of the season, like yada yada, you know. So I don't know. And that's the other thing too. We were mentioning perks earlier. I talked about this on stream the other day, where I think what they'll do with the perks is they'll do what they did at the beginning of Cold War. The original perks, Jug, Stamina Up, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, Dead Shot, and Elemental Pop. I think they're going to do those perks. However, throughout the season of Vanguard, they're going to release different perks other than Tombstone, other than Mule Kick. And they'll do game-specific perks. So instead of Tombstone being the first perk added, maybe they'll do Winter's Wail will be the first perk added. And then we'll have 4 different DLC perks. That way we can have some differentiation between Cold War and Vanguard Zombies. I think that's just my theory. I have nothing to base that off of, but that's just my theory.
Absolutely. Like I don't think that's a bad idea either, because the Cold War perks, sure, a lot of them are good and fun to use, but at the same time, the DLC ones we got, like, what's the best one out of the bunch, would you say?
The best one out of the bunch for the DLC weapons? Dude, I gotta go either Mule Kick or Death Perception. I mean...
Because Tombstone's just kind of, like, poo-poo.
Tombstone's okay. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst. It's just okay to me.
PhD could be great, depending on what it actually does.
Yeah, we have to wait and see what the skill tiers do. Honestly, I think I might have to go... I think I got to go with Death Perception. Just because you earn more salvage, you can do more armor damage, and I know those heavy armor zombies are a pain in the ass in the late rounds. And, you know, you can see crates through the walls in Outbreak. You can, you know, see your objectives in Outbreak. Like, it's really good overall for just... It's a good quality of life perk for Cold War.
It's funny how a perk from Black Ops 4 that people hated, and it was just not a good perk. People did not like it in that game. It can be so useful in Cold War because there's so much more to it.
Because you can do more, and you can do more with that perk in Cold War than you can in Black Ops 4. I mean, Black Ops 4 it only has 2 abilities, and one of those abilities barely does anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's like, yeah. So I'm glad Death Perception definitely got a facelift in Cold War Zombies. Mule Kick is definitely a great perk, I think, for Cold War because of extra ammo. You craft more with less, and you have a chance to not waste your grenades when you throw them out. So Mule Kick is also a really good quality of life perk. So I'm hoping PhD carries the torch a little bit from Mule Kick and Death Perception to be like, hey, not only will I negate your explosive damage, I'll do this for you, and I'll do that. And then it'll make Cold War Zombies a little bit, or like in one little aspect, it'll make Cold War Zombies a little bit more, oh my God, there's a word I'm looking for, and I don't know
what is the word.
But it'll make Cold War Zombies, like some aspects of it that might be annoying to players. It might ease that a little bit. So, and we'll just have to see what that is. I don't know what that would be, but we'll just have to see what that is.
Absolutely. I think I think overall, just like with Cold War and Vanguard, I think they'll go hand in hand together
For sure.
in terms of just what the experience will be getting. But I think okay, here's a question for you because I asked some people online as well about this a few days ago,
Hmm.
and I got a lot of responses, and a lot of them a lot of it was quite negative actually.
Oh boy.
But in a year's time, do you think the zombie community would have grown, or
Oh.
do you think it will not be? Do you think it'll be bigger or smaller? The community.
I remember that poll. I voted bigger, and the only reason why I voted bigger was because there is the chance that people will be able to warm up to Dark Ether a little bit more, and then zombies could be back to those. I don't want to say the glory days, but maybe it's like
No,
its own kind of
own time
golden
period.
age. Like it's like a
Yeah.
renaissance in a way, like the revival of zombies, where so many people could be playing it after so much confusion and so many uncertain things. Like if we really set a precedent with the Dark Ether storyline, and we really, Treyarch all gas no brakes from here, I think we could have a bigger community potentially, you know.
Mm.
So, I mean, and then I get it. I know a lot of people have just lost interest completely in Call of Duty because of recent things. I get that. So the zombies community by proxy is going to be smaller. But, I still think there's the potential for it to be bigger than it is right now. Because I know we're not small, but we're definitely not at full strength either, the zombies community.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, there's potential. There is a large amount of potential here. So, on your poll that I voted on Twitter, I said that it could be bigger because
Mm-hmm.
I want to be optimistic about it because
Go
it's
about
something
this.
that I
Absolutely.
love and it's something that I want to see continue to grow and get bigger.
Because
So, I'm going to be
well,
optimistic.
here's the thing: negativity doesn't really get you anywhere, does it?
It doesn't, but there's also I understand where people
I
can
understand
try
the
to take
logical
the
side.
the realist side of it too, where
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
things going on. It's not actually like a actual game. I know they're working on the game mode, and even after Cold War, people lose interest in things and all that. And with
yeah,
some of the leaks suggesting some things as well that we won't talk about here because we don't want to
right,
spoil anything. Maybe the game won't start off the best, and then it'll just people will naturally not be as interested, and the community will be smaller for it. I think the one way to make zombies have its own golden era again would be by doing a standalone zombie game, which I've heard for the past few years, and it's been like something the community's talked about as well, is something that could possibly be in the works by one of the studios. Who knows what studio is working on it? But potentially there could
I
be
mean,
a solo zombie game, which is very possible because I
maybe.
think Activision do see the potential in zombies, and they could market it as its own thing. And for them as well, if they were just to have it on a one game, a solid base game
Hmm.
with its own foundation and all that, overall for the game it'd be so much better. It's like
That would be
Warzone in
great.
a way. Think about Warzone,
Yeah,
right? Like something that can update consistently for the multiplayer side of things. Imagine they did
yeah,
that for zombies. Where
absolutely.
even if it was like Outbreak, like a massive battle royale, but
Yeah, there you go.
zombies, they added weapons, it became a PvPvE
Hey,
sort of
there you
game mode.
go, dude. That would be
Something
cool
like
as
that,
hell.
that'd be cool. And I guarantee it would be somewhat successful. It'd be something you could either play alongside Warzone, or if you're bored of Warzone and you want to move to something else, or if you just wanted to play something with
Hmm.
zombies in it, you know,
Yeah.
something that it could definitely happen, and I want it to happen because I think that would be a big win for the zombies community.
And yeah, only time will tell. I mean, we'll see how Activision gauges people's interest in zombies and how Activision themselves gauges their interest in zombies, I mean,
Mm.
uh obviously the zombies community, we're going to play anything. We're going to play anything, and
Yeah,
we're going to continue to give our feedback and criticism and review and
and
things like
money,
that, and money. Uh
and money.
So, there's still definitely that interest in zombies. In Vanguard, however, it'll be definitely a huge deciding factor as to, how truly invested are people in the Dark Ether storyline. So,
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. And I think with
absolutely
season 6 just around the
as
corner,
well.
I think this will really be telling how hyped up people are for it because kind of transitioning a little bit back into season 6 talk, with the Haunting of Verdansk, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be zombies there. Again, it's going to be Zombies Warzone like we had last year. So with that in mind, I think a lot of people would be interested in doing the Haunting of Verdansk again because I thought it was successful last year. It'll gauge people's interests and what they think of that. And no doubt, and this is my theory, that during the Haunting of Verdansk, because it's a Zombies Warzone event, there's going to be some kind of special event in the Haunting of Verdansk, like we had with the Nuke event, like we had with the Battle of Verdansk, that's going to give us the Zombies trailer for Vanguard. I think there's got to be something there to really put Vanguard Zombies in people's faces to be like, hey, Dark Ether is continuing. What do you guys think? And what better way to put it in people's faces than to put it in the biggest thing Call of Duty has going for it right now, and that's Warzone.
Again, I something I don't think I give enough credit for is for using Warzone as a marketing tactic.
And I think that's
so
great.
Many people will jump on for them events, and people will go on it, whether it's them going on purpose or like them just wanting to play. Like, oh, what's this? Let's play this. Oh, new stuff's coming out. I might buy that. Because when you start actually looking into the figures of it, I wonder how much their sales have gone up since they've started doing stuff like that. I imagine by quite a bit because it's to really put it in the player's face, but at the same time they give us a fun event to go play through. So it's fine, it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think people are really, really interested in Warzone events, and especially with zombies. I think this would work really well. Because the World War II bunkers are opening up, and Haunting of Verdansk, and to me it just looks like everything is aligning. Everything is aligning for a zombies themed event, not just the Haunting of Verdansk, like I said, because I know the Haunting of Verdansk is already zombies themed, but like a zombies like core thing, go over here, do this, go to the bunker. Fight some zombies or something, and then, oh, look, a trailer. That's just what I think. I think that something like that's going to happen. But hey, speaking of Season 6 as well, dude, Mason is the cover operator, which is pretty badass.
Pretty cool to see him going back.
Dude, like we were talking about earlier, the ray gun Mastercraft looks so sick.
It does.
It looks so sick. That's the zombies nerd in me going,
ooh, take my money. Here's the thing, right? I didn't actually buy Samantha, and I don't think you did either, did you?
I did not.
Because we don't give in so easily to cool skins. But the ray gun variant, we will buy. We will buy them.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I like using cool weapons, and I know it's like I bought the Weaver Requiem Reconnaissance thing where it looks like he's in the Dark Ether.
Well, that's cool, though. And you can see his hands in that. Like, it's cool. That is very that's one
and the guns. See, but the thing is too, the guns look really cool too.
Exactly.
Like the Gallo and the Krig and the M60. Those guns look really fucking cool with the with the Dark Ether crystals on them. And the tank and Outbreak. When you get into a tank and Outbreak, you got these crystals protruding out of the tank, and it just looks so cool. So
you have to buy it.
It's like we got it.
You have to get any money.
Yeah, right. Who did I see on Twitter the other day? Take Out Mars, shout out to him. We've done a few things with him. That dude, he has so many blueprints and packs and bundles. Like he shared it all on Twitter the other day. And I'm just going, dude, how many COD points? How many COD points do you have for that? I was so blown away by how many bundles he actually had. And it's like, hey man, that's fucking cool though that you got the COD points to do that. If I had the expendable, if I had the expendable income to do that, I'd probably do the same. But
I wonder if there's ever been a glitch to duplicate COD points.
If there is, I'm sure I'm sure someone's figured it out already. I'm sure you could go on some janky YouTube video that's like really bad,
2016,
really bad quality video. That's like the bad iPhone microphone, and it's like,
hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to get COD points.
How to download extra RAM.
Or it's like fucking. Today I'm going to show you how to get extra COD points. Step 1, give me your bank details.
Yeah,
all of them.
Right.
Step 2, send me them.
It reminds me of the remember VoiceOver Pete and it was at the beginning of a Mr. T Lexify video where he's like, "Attention, all COD Zombies fans, Primus is in
Attention,
trouble."
all epic zombie gamers.
Pretty much,
Rick
yeah.
Dolphin is stuck in Alcatraz,
And he needs your credit card information and the punch-a-pack, and he needs the numbers on the back of your card. Like, that when talking about that, it reminded me of that. Like, just a sarcastic meme.
What a good meme. He actually got banned by Fiverr.
He did, yeah, I remember that.
Cause they thought his whole the whole credit card information thing, that was the most famous thing. They thought, oh no, that kind of violates our terms and services, because that could really that could cause some problems.
Like, I get what they're going at. I get it, right? But it's like,
it's a joke, like anyone over the age of 5 would know.
Right.
And if someone's under the age of 5, they shouldn't be in your app. So
yeah, there's that too.
Exactly.
Anyways, that's what that reminded me of when you're like, yes, give me your bank information if you want free COD points. Yeah. Anyways, the bundles look cool. The bundles look cool.
They do.
Looking forward to it.
I wish I had infinite money so I could buy them all, but I don't. So
yeah,
I will buy the ray gun one, and that would be me.
Hey. There you go. We also got multiplayer maps, new multiplayer maps. We got America, with the America, the Russian spelling of America with the K. Then you have Deprogram, which is a multiplayer map that is set inside Adler's mind.
Yeah.
And you got like different locations and things like that, and it looks really interesting. And then you have Gluboko, which is a very interesting name for a map. It's a gunfight map taking place. If I'm not mistaken, it takes place. Remember that one campaign mission where you infiltrate the KGB, and you're on like undercover. And
yes, yeah.
And remember at the end of that mission where you're with Adler, and you go like down to the basement. You got like the engine room, like all that down there. I think that's the room it takes place in. So like it takes place in that like the dark, like the bowels of the Kremlin there. So
yeah.
That looks pretty interesting. I think it'd be kind of fun. What else is happening? Oh, yes, of course. Again, talking about more zombies things. 2 new support weapons being added to the crafting table. The hand cannon, which I think could resemble the Annihilator a lot. And the ARCXD. I would never have thought in a million years that we'd be getting an RCXD to use in zombies. In a mainline zombies game. I know Nightmare in custom zombies you were able to use an RCXD, but in a mainline zombies game would not expect that.
I think it'll be the most overpowered crafting item you can get from it. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because I imagine when you're using it, you're invincible.
Oh yeah, probably like a cruise missile or something like that.
And I imagine, depending how long you have it for, I think it's just like a thing you can use to be like, okay, I'm about to die.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's cool. I'm excited to use it to see what it can really do in the higher rounds as well.
Yeah, me too. I think it's gonna be really fun. Just I don't know, man. It's all the cool little things they add to zombies to make it really unique this year. I'm really liking that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then of course we talked about it multiple times, but the Haunting of Verdansk. I want to talk about it a little bit more just because I liked it last year. It sounds like we're going to be getting it was definitely really fun. It sounds like we're going to be getting another weapon. Another weapon in the when you complete all the challenges.
Yeah.
It's a new SMG called the Lappa. And I wonder what the challenges are going to be. I wonder if they're going to do like they did with the numbers event, where it's both in Warzone and you can complete them in zombies too. I wonder if they're going to do that. I think
it will be. I think it will be because it's definitely a zombies themed event.
Yeah, they have to, right?
I think they would do. I don't think they'd leave you hanging,
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah. And that's going to happen October 19th. So, a little while after the release of Season 6, that's what's going to happen. And then we got the 410 Ironhide lever action shotgun coming as well.
Cool.
Looks pretty good.
I imagine that'd be pretty good in zombies.
Dude, I want a better version of the Argus. That's what I'm hoping that the Ironhide is. I want to see like a good Argus. Like not the Argus is okay, but like I want a good lever action. I want to feel like the Rifleman, right?
Yeah.
Shit, that's an
'Cause
old TV show. People watching this might not even get that reference. But I want to feel like the fucking rifleman with the ba 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 with the lever action, just rapid fire, just shooting zombies.
Yeah.
That'd be so fucking
'Cause
fun.
Here's the thing, right? With the Argus in BO3, it was really good. But do you remember when they added it to BO4?
Yeah, BO4 was lackluster for sure.
Obviously, in BO4 it had the health cap, so it would kill in higher rounds anyway. It would do that because there was the health. Yeah, the health cap was introduced in BO4, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you forget, but obviously it was introduced.
Forget what you know.
Forget what you know. I did. I forgot everything that happened previously in Zombies. I didn't know what perks were when I did my first playthrough of the machine. It was pretty scary. I actually knew someone who I used to play Zombies with. It was a school friend, and he said, "Oh yeah, he played before. Like I knew him for like a good 6 months." He was like, "Oh yeah, these machines. What do they do?" And I'm like, "You haven't been buying perks? What are perks?" Because he didn't know what they were. Because he only played town.
Well, there you go.
But they're still on it.
Why
they
not?
play music and they're bright and they're colorful. Why wouldn't you go up and interact with them?
Well, I don't know. You know, people just don't equate that to something. I guess I don't know. It's just people are. Although I do find it kind of funny how the slogan for Black Ops 4 was "Forget what you know," and then Black Ops Cold War is "Know your history."
Know your history.
It's literally just forget what you know, and then no, actually know your history.
Know your history. Know what's happened in the past.
Although
I wonder what
that is a
Cold
pretty
War
good
2 will be.
slogan. That is a pretty good slogan. I think history is very important, and people should know their history.
I think Black Ops Cold Wars 2 sort of slogan will be forget your history and then remember it.
Forget your history. Forget your history because that's what we want you to do.
Yeah, because we want you to forget your history.
We want you to forget your history.
Remember a little of it. Only a little, though.
Only remember the parts that we tell you.
Only remember the parts that were good. But the rest of them, like Black Ops 3's campaign, Black Ops 4 multiplayer in some aspects, Black Ops 4 Zombies, what other issues do we have? Exosuits, forget all that. But remember all the other good stuff. Like the free DLC.
There you go. Yeah. And the bundles. Remember the bundles.
The bundles and how much you like buying them. Those are fun, right?
Yeah, it's like they got the MK Ultra on Adler, right? It's got the MK Ultra on the consumers, right? Ah, yeah, you remember that you love buying every pack the moment they come out, right?
when it's 5 in the morning and you're sleep deprived and you buy the bundles. What have I done?
What have I done?
It wasn't you.
Yeah. Although I gotta say though, that intro cinematic for season 6 was pretty fucking cool.
Dude.
I really enjoyed that with Mason and the callback to the numbers. Verdansk is blowing up for like the 100th fucking time. How much shit has Verdansk gone through? Like, holy crap.
I seen someone make a timeline off it, timeline, and it was like, oh yeah, this has all happened in the time span of like 30 years. Don't live in Verdansk.
Don't live in Verdansk. Literally don't live there. It's a hazard.
I have to say that whole Adler bit of him being like, oh, what have I done? That is such good meme material. You could put that in anything.
Dude, everything in Call of Duty at this point in time is meme material. Let's be honest.
It's like an example. When your mom tells you to take the chicken out the freezer, and you hear her coming up the drive, and you forgot, what have I done? It's like you could apply that to almost anything. Good folk, good. I hope we see them. I hope we see these characters like Adler come back in the next game. I don't know when it's going to be taking place, but I think Adler's such a good character.
Yeah, I think Adler. I just hope Adler and Stitch and all these characters. I hope it just doesn't end here with Cold War. I hope there's more callbacks to it in Vanguard, right? With the Pacific Island map, Warzone map that we're going to be getting in November as well. Which that's actually so fucking close. I mean, October is already here.
Yeah.
It's going to, oh my God, dude. Like, we're going to be getting
Verdansk
is going away forever. Like, think about that.
Oh, no. And then the same people that were complaining about it in 2 months, about, oh, it was so good.
Right, yeah, I know. It's because that's just how it is, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think Verdansk has some good qualities to it. I don't think
it's bad.
I don't think it's a bad map. I don't think it's a super amazing map, but
yeah, I think it's the first one they did, and it was fun for what they did. I was surprised at how well it actually ran on a console.
Yeah, no,
Like
absolutely.
just going from something like Ghost, where like a map, some of the maps wouldn't even have the proper frame rates because the game couldn't handle it because they are a
Mm,
bit big. To something like Warzone or Blackout, where it runs pretty consistently, like
right,
55, 50 FPS. If you're on like next gen 60, it's like,
right.
I'll take it. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I
Well done.
mean, that's the thing. I think Warzone, I think Verdansk has a lot of good locations. Like I think a
Yeah.
TV station is one of my favorite locations to go to. I know a lot of people love going to Storage Town because Storage Town is hectic and chaotic, and everyone just goes there to kill each other and have fun. Um, like
Mm.
Prison is a good location to drop for like plunder. I don't know. There's just a lot of things about the map that are good. I don't. It's time for a change, though. I definitely think it's time
Yeah,
for a
absolutely.
change. Um, whether I agree with them getting rid of Verdansk forever or not, I'm still a
I
little bit.
think it's one of the
I'm a
things
little bit on the fence, to be totally honest with you
I
about
don't
that.
really I don't really understand why they couldn't just have both, because it's not that they're gonna
Yeah.
like they're not gonna divide the community by having two maps you can play on. You already have that and Alcatraz or whatever
Hmm.
it's called now. It's
Rebirth.
Rebirth. There you go, right? We already have two of them. You're adding in a new one for your players to go into. Even if you wanted to close down Verdansk for like a little bit, it's just something you feel like the developers put a lot of time into it. It's just a shame that it has to go away. And this is where gaming's kind of going. Where things are evolving and things are
Right.
changing. It's not even like Verdansk has changed too much in the past like year and a bit it's been out. It could still be its own entity and its own
Yeah.
thing.
No,
And I
that's for
think
sure.
having it as an option and having it there is always good, because more content is better than less if the content is good enough.
Right.
Like it's one of the things where it shows that it's a good battle royale map. It carried a lot of the COD community for a little bit until Cold War came out,
Yeah.
and I don't think it should just go. That's my personal opinion. Don't think it should just go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people are really tired of Verdansk, and so a lot of people are like, "Oh, fucking good riddance," right? I don't know. I
Yeah,
like I said, I think Verdansk has some good redeeming qualities. It'll be kind of sad to see it go because that's our first Warzone map, and it'll be sad. But like I said, there are some things that are like, oh, I'm glad that's going away.
yeah,
Like people
absolutely.
camping on rooftops with sniper rifles. I'm glad that's going away. Hopefully, I don't
Yeah,
know. It might just be replaced with people camping on cliff tops on the mountains on the Pacific Island. I mean, I don't know, but see, that's the thing that
yeah,
I never really understood with Warzone is how they do the playlist updates every week, right? So
yeah.
like there'll be plunder quads one week and then plunder trios but no more quads. And then they'll do
Like, why?
Rebirth Island trios and then they'll get rid of that and then they'll put in quads, but they don't have them all they don't have it at the same time. And then they'll have like Clash and Payload and then they'll like interchange those game modes and Iron Trials. Like I don't know. To me, I just always thought it was really weird
You
that
know,
you
you know
couldn't go
why?
into Rebirth and be like, I want to do Rebirth solo. I want to do Rebirth duo. Like you can for normal Battle Royale. Solo, duo, trio,
It's
quads. I don't like,
I
why would they
I
do that?
imagine I imagine because it's what them wanting to change it up and keep things so they're not stale. And I imagine it's also a psychological thing where it's like, okay, let's take this away for like a week. So when it comes
Right. The
back,
whole
people
the
are
whole
gonna a lot more
LTM
people
mentality.
it'll come right back on like, oh,
Right.
I've missed this, I'll play it again.
Right.
It's one of the things because I imagine they make profit from it, and that's why they'll be doing it,
Yeah,
because they
like
will make more money
I
in the long
definitely
run.
I agree with that for the most part when it comes to like a
But
a, ga-
it's
a,
one of
ga-
the
a
things
game
where
mode like Payload or a game mode like Clash where people, that's a true LTM for Warzone. But I don't know. To
yeah,
me, so many people play Rebirth, and so
that
like
it should be its own
that
like
should be
have
its
its
own
own.
solo, duo, trio, quad. But they keep
Yeah,
interchanging it with, oh, this is quads this week. Oh, this is duos this week. Oh, it's the same thing
it's
with
a shame.
Plunder too. It's the same thing with Plunder. They'll go, oh yeah, here's Plunder quads, and then they'll take that away. Oh, here's Plunder duos. Like,
Yeah,
I never personally understood that, but I definitely agree that a big contributing factor to that could be the whole LTM mindset for people to come on and be like, oh, fuck yeah, I missed trios in Rebirth Island. That's great. You know.
yeah.
So
I
I
think one of the
yeah.
things where as gaming goes on, it's less about the consumer and more about, okay, how can we make as much money as possible? And again, I know developers are making this for us because they want us to enjoy it, but it's just the overlying like factor of a company like Activision that
Mm.
want to make as much money as possible. So it's one of the things where it's like, well, this sucks, but what am I going to do? Not play?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like there's a
that,
meme. There's a meme. There's a meme I seen, and it was about fuel prices. And it's
uh-huh.
just this guy. I don't get upset about fuel prices. What am I gonna do? Not buy fuel?
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, fair enough. Like if something goes up in price, but you need like fuel or like, you know what I mean? You're gonna find
Yeah.
that money somewhere.
And you know
In a
what,
way.
man? That to me, that just sounds like a whole economics conversation about how,
Yeah.
the market and fucking
Yeah.
whatever, right? And this is not the Division E for economics podcast. But I mean, yeah, no, I definitely get what you're saying there. Definitely get what you're saying there. I mean,
Mm.
companies want to make money. Can you blame them?
And then
No, but
you're still gonna play is the takeaway from that.
people are
It's like
still going to play, and it's up to you to decide whether you want to play or not. It's literally
Yeah.
that simple. It's so simple. But I know people make a big deal over it, where it's like, nobody can like this thing because I said
Yeah.
so. And it's like, well, dude, whatever. Like, you can think that all you want, but just don't go out of your way to knock people for liking something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whatever. But long story short, season 6 looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to Forsaken. So, dude, now that I think about it, the next episode of the Division Z podcast, we will have played Forsaken.
Yeah, and we can talk about
Ooh.
Forsaken. Oh, it's gonna be good.
And we could
It's
talk
gonna be
about the
good.
final map, and it's all the intricacies and all the juicy stuff to sink our teeth into.
And the ending cutscene.
And the
I
ending
wonder,
cutscene.
have they said it's gonna be like an Easter egg locked until Friday sort of thing, or
My assumption would be that it would do that. I
it's
think they
been
would do that
past.
again. Because they did that for Firebase Z and Marauder Tote, and they might as well do it again, right?
Yeah,
So people
exactly.
can get a grip of the map, play it a little bit, and then everyone all at the same time has the Easter egg unlocked, which, whatever opinion you have of that, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I personally don't care. Like, I just straight up don't care. So
it's like life's too short to get up and annoyed about stuff like that. It's like just
well,
play
my
it,
main reason is, like, even if the Easter egg was released at launch or like 12 hours later, it's gonna get solved in the same amount of time.
It's still gonna take 2 hours or so. I mean, maybe it's
Like,
a little bit faster if they hold it off for like 12 hours, so then players can get an idea of the map and like, okay, this could mean this. This could be something that could
Right.
be used later on, sort
Right.
of thing. But without parts and like things spawning in, you know, a lot of it is like, what are you gonna be able to do? You know?
Yeah, it's like I know there are things like on Marauder Toten, right? I remember my first playthrough of that. Like, you could build Klaus, I believe. Like, you could still get the parts and you can still do things for Klaus, but you couldn't do the Easter egg, right?
Yeah.
And like, you could get the Cerberus, but you can't do the Easter egg, And so I remember that it was the same thing for Firebase Z, if you remember too, where Firebase Z, you turn on all the ether reactors, and then Peck will say, I think this is how it went, where Peck says his voice line where he's like, all right, come to mission to control. We have a lot to catch up on. And then you go to mission control and then nothing happens. Because that's where the Easter egg starts, right?
Yeah.
And I believe they also, for Firebase Z, they locked the build quest for the Ray case. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Maybe.
So either way, again, long story short, I think the Easter egg is going to be locked for 12 hours for Forsaken, and I don't really care. It'll give me some time to digest the map. It'll give me some time to really learn it, and then, look
around all that.
Here's the Easter egg. Like,
Yeah.
The one thing that I hope, though, is that they don't lock the Wonder Weapon quest. That's all I hope.
I hope not either, because I imagine it's probably not something you get from the box.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks like something. I mean, maybe actually, because each Wonder Weapon you've been able to get from the box.
I mean, yeah, but this Wonder Weapon isn't just gonna be get it from the box. Like,
you think it's like a quest?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's gonna be a quest. I mean, look at how badass that thing looks. Like,
it looks like you have to do something to get it.
It looks like we gotta go to the Dark Aether to get it. I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to all the new
Absolutely.
stuff. Season 6 looks awesome, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to wrap things up here for this episode of the podcast.
Absolutely.
This was a lot of fun talking about Season 6, talking about all the new things coming, our theories about Vanguard Zombies, talking about Warzone a little bit. And you know what, man? We only talked about Black Ops 4 a little bit in this episode.
We're getting better at it.
We're getting better at not talking about Black Ops 4.
maybe at some point, it'd be the case where we don't talk about it. Even in today's episode, it was more of a slight reference
Right,
than
right.
anything. We didn't actually take a deep dive into
Yes, of
the mechanics
course.
and overall lore of BO4. So
Right, of
that's always
course.
a win.
Well, anyways, what was your favorite part of this episode of the Division C podcast without us talking about Black Ops 4? Share your thoughts in the comments. And do you have any other closing thoughts?
I hope everyone enjoys Forsaken, and we'll be talking about it next week. So we'll all catch up then and see our thoughts and all that.
Dude, I'm so excited. It's going to be a fun
Mm.
time. DLC 4, here we come. The home stretch for Cold War Zombies. Everybody, once again, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy and you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, check out the links down below in the description so you stay up to date with everything that K Cosmic and I do, as well as checking out our official Twitter. So with that said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.